Yeah. Get out my way. I've been in the rage all day. It's time to get late, time to get paid. What it do, YouTube, man? It's your boy QFireflame. And of course, I'm tapping in with yet another video for you guys. I'm very excited to be bringing you back some good content, man. I took a little time away. Had to welcome a new addition to the family. Aside for that, I've been playing 2K25 and also Monster Hunter. So yeah, today this video is going to be on monsterhunterwilds, which I'm very excited to be covering today. I got a lot of good content for you guys. Today we're going to be focusing on the chargeblade. Some very basic good tips to help my hunters out there use the chargeblade. I'm going to give you some good tips on what I use to be successful with the weapon. It won't be too detailed, you know. It's going to be very basic. We're going to get straight to the point, and hopefully in the end this will help some of you out there decide to use the chargeblade. So without further ado, you know, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. We tapped in the comments. Feel free to share any knowledge that someone, you know, may not know. I'm new to the franchise myself, kind of sort of, so definitely share some information for me as well, so we all can band together as one, man. So let's get right into this juicy content here, man. We got Monster Hunter Wilds, and today we're gonna be covering the chargeblade. And when I think of the chargeblade, that's my primary weapon in Monster Hunter. I've been playing a ton of Monster Hunter all the way back since Monster Hunter before Iceborne. So Monster Hunter Worlds, that's when I pretty much kind of like jumped into the franchise, and ever since then I've been putting thousands of hours into Worlds, Iceborne, Rise, and now Wilds to date. So when we look at the chargeblade, I look at it as a very flashy weapon. I like to go out in style when I'm fighting and battling these monsters. So with the chargeblade, you're going to do just that. You can switch between the sword and shield mode and then the axe mode. So first off, we're going to get into the basics first, which is the sword and shield mode. And to start out with the sword and shield mode, you always with a basic combo, of course, starting out right out the gate is triangle, triangle, triangle. You spam triangle 3 times in a row, you're going to do a 3 combo sword attack. For me, my tips on charging your blade faster, you want to hold circle. And right when your guy releases at the top, you want to release it, and he's going to do a little combo. That is one of the quickest ways to charge your files, your file attacks quicker. The quicker you charge your files, the more efficient you will be as a charge blade hunter. When charging your files, you want to take a look at them and notice that they will slowly change from yellow. When they're yellow and you try to fill your files, they're gonna only give you 3. When they're red, they're fully flashing red, that means that you literally can't attack anymore with your sword. All of your attacks will be deflected. That's because you have to initiate where you put your files inside of your shield, so that way you can continue building, and then next up you will charge your sword. So let's recap real quick. Triangle, triangle, triangle is a basic attack just for you to get some basic damage off. Holding circle and releasing circle at the top of the attack will initiate you charging your files quicker from yellow to red. Red is the strongest flashing that your files can be. Once they're in red state, that is when I immediately start to put my files inside and have them charged and ready for usage. So in order to do that, you want to hold R2 and then press circle. Once you hold R2 and press circle, he does an animation where he takes his sword and kind of puts it to the side. You can see that he will put his files inside the shield. And if you take a look once you've done that correctly, your shield will be flashing. It'll be flashing like blue orange color almost. The same exact thing you do with your sword. You want to hold R2 and then hold triangle. He's gonna do the same animation where he's holding his sword. He's gonna put his sword in the shield. You will see a flash come from the shield, and then that's when you release. He's gonna do a downward strike, boom, and then at that point, your sword should be flashing blue and orange the same way that your shield is. And then, of course, to get your axe flashing, you have your sword flashing, and then you have your shield flashing. The third way to get your axe itself flashing, I found one of the quickest ways is when there is a weak point that's showing on the monster by you holding L2 to go in that mode where you can kind of aim your attacks. You want to look for weak points that are glowing either red or purple. Once you hit those with R1, your switch axe will go into switch axe mode where it'll start rotating, doing a ton of damage. And then at that point, once you execute that attack, your swords will be flashing blue and orange, your shield will be blue and orange, and your switch axe will be blue and orange. In this state, your charge blade is the most powerful, would do the most damage. So now that you have everything flashing, you just pretty much do the same thing. You want to attack, hold circle if you want to, build it the quickest, or with triangle, you still going to build it, but it's a little slower. You want to continue attacking until you get all of your files back flashing red. So at this point, you should have your sword flashing, your shield flashing, your switch axe flashing, and your files are flashing red with the explosive emblems at the top. When my weapon is in this state, and depending on how experienced you are as a hunter, you want to do what is called an amped elemental discharge. And what I like to do once I have everything flashing, like we just stated, you want to, let's see. I'm honestly, the easiest way I can put it is I'm spamming circle and O together. The first time when I'm spamming circle and O together, he's going to do a light attack where he swings it. You're going to see electric come out and hit the monster. Then as you continue tapping circle and O, he's going to do another one where he kind of takes it and he slams it down on the ground on the monster, and it does a ton of damage. And that's why it's critical at this point to invest in your build. Make sure you got the right gems, which will be a separate video from this one. But you want to make sure you got the right jewels, the right armor pieces, because that is going to determine just how much damage you do with the charge blade, with your file attacks. So don't worry, I'll do that in a separate video. For this video, I just want to make sure we go over the basics to help train people on how to use the charge blade itself. And honestly, that is my number one most powerful attack. When I get all of my elements and my weapons flashing, my shield flashing, my axe, everything flashing, my files are all powered up and ready to go, I like to do my amped elemental discharge with circle and O. Another attack that I would like to cover as well is the circle button. When you're attacking with triangle or circle, whatever you're doing in the sword and shield formation of the attack, when you use circle, it allows you to maneuver and get around to different spots, position yourself better, dodge attacks, get yourself ready for your next location that you want to target on the body. Circle with the charge blade is a very great skill to know how to use, and of course that's going to come with experience. But when I'm using my charge blade, I'm constantly attacking, doing my three-piece combo, whether it's charged or slashing. And then if I see the monster is about to attack me or focus in the area that I'm at, I'm tapping circle to kind of like slide and maneuver to a safer spot to continue attacking, without getting thrown off of balance and things of that nature. Of course, you can mix up combos. You can try circle, holding circle, then triangle, or triangle, press circle again to kind of slide, dodge out of harm's way, and then continue attacking with triangle. Like, it's so many ways you can mix up. But the next formation that I wanted to tap into with the charge blade was the switch axe mode. All right, for the next segment of the video, we're going to cover the next form. We've already talked about sword and shield, so now we're going to talk about the axe mode on the charge blade. And honestly, axe mode, I like it, but I spend most of my time in sword and shield. I'm in axe mode primarily when I'm unleashing my amped elemental discharge and my super amped elemental discharge. There are times when the animal or the monster may be paralyzed or down, exhausted. Then I might bring out my axe mode and kind of, spam circle to do some circular attacks, or triangle to go kind of up and down. When you're in axe mode, you get more reach and your attacks are more powerful than when you are in sword and shield mode, but they are a little slower depending on how you may choose to attack with the axe. And to simply go into axe mode with the charge blade, with the weapon sheathed, you just press R2. And with R2, it's going to come out with the basic axe mode slash. You could press spam triangle to reach higher tails in the air to reach the back of the monster. And then you keep spamming triangle with axe mode out. He just kind of does a up and down swipe attack. If you press triangle with the axe mode, it's going to do like a circular whirlwind attack that give you a little bit more radius around you with your attack mode. One useful tip that I love, because I'm a huge sword and shield guy with the charge blade, when you're in axe mode, you want to use R2 to simply transition back to sword and shield without having to sheath your weapon and then bring it back out. Trust me, that was something I used to do as a noob. I didn't quite know how to transition between axe and sword and shield mode efficiently. So that's how you do that without having to sheath your weapon in that slow animation and then bring it back out. You just press R2 and he'll swing the axe from axe mode, and then he'll break it apart and go right back to sword and shield in one smooth transition. Of course, another simple topic is with the charge blade, you do have the ability to block attacks. And keep in mind, you first have to do your shield first, and then you have to do your sword next. It won't work if you try to do your sword first and your shield. You have to do your shield first and then your sword. Video, like I say, it was a quick tutorial. I hope I was able to cover a lot of things to help you guys be successful. And I know with me being a charge blade user, there's still some things out there that I may not know, which I don't know. Feel free to comment down below and let me know any tips and tricks that I may have missed to share with the Monster Hunter Wilds community. It has been a blast playing this game. I've already put a little under 100 hours into it, and definitely going to be more once they drop new monsters, new DLC, things of that nature. So stay tapped in to me, man. I'm going to be dropping more charge blade information. If you guys want me to cover more builds, just let me know, man. This is going to be a gathering point for gamers to unite and talk about some Monster Hunter, 2K, whatever game I'll be forecasting for that day. So as always, I appreciate y'all for tapping into my videos. It's been a blast returning back to YouTube. If you haven't already, you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment to help the channel out, man. It goes a long way, and I appreciate it. I really do. And as always, hey, y'all boys, be safe out there. Safe hunts. And until next time, QFireflame tapping out. Peace.